Welcome back, everyone. We have some exciting stuff today. Lots of cool stuff to talk about. Originally, it was going to be a Power World stream, but we've been getting a lot of news and a lot of info about the 1.0 update for Enshrouded. So I did a little switcheroo. We'll do Power World again on Monday next week. And today we're going to talk about this Enshrouded 1.0 update and go over all the news and info that we know so far, or at least almost all of it. There's still a few things that I'm, asking the devs if we can share a little bit. And 3D's in the chat, heck yeah, welcome in. Super excited for 1.0 release, heck yeah. Akatsin, welcome. Silverwolf, Mina, heck yeah. Hope y'all are doing well. All right, so yeah, we have a lot to talk about today. A lot to go over. I wanted to go over all of the videos on their channel. We've got 3, and I want to skim through them in a lot of detail. I posted the video yesterday for you guys to see of the performance upgrades for 1.0. We are finally getting better render distance, which is absolutely amazing. That was my biggest gripe with Enshrouded. And you guys know that. That was like the one thing I constantly complained about in the channel is as soon as I backed away from a house, like stuff just started disappearing, especially the terrain and things. Now, something I didn't clarify in the video, hopefully this will also be the case in a flame altar boundary. Because right now the render distance is kind of so-so in the rest of the world, but within a flame altar boundary, it specifically gets really bad because that's where they're trying to save details and info. So I'm hoping that this new system will also work and look that way inside a flame altar boundary. I'm not positive, but we're hopeful. So we'll see. Alpha, welcome in. Hope you're doing well. So yeah, that part is there, and I also wanted to, look through that video and point out all of the new things content-wise that we got a little sneak peek of in it, because that was really focused on like the performance and visuals. But a bunch of you guys, even in the comments of the video and stuff, were saying, oh, and look at the new mobs at the end, and the new armor, and the new this, and the new that. So many things. So excited to be finalizing the mall for 1.0 prep. I know, that's gonna be amazing. And yeah, 3D took me on a tour of his updated mall, some of the 1.0 items, and it's incredible. It's so cool. So that's eventually, if I get some, I just wanted to ask the devs first, and they got back to me. They'll probably get back to me tomorrow with like the go ahead or the yay or the nay, and then maybe 3D and I can show you guys some of the goodies that 1.0 is bringing as far as terrain materials, blocks, props, plants, armor. There's all kinds of cool things that we already have like the code for in the game, but I just wanted to be sure it's okay with the developers before I go ahead and show you guys a bunch of stuff. Have you read and seen the Gamescom articles of 1.0? Yes, that's what we're going to read as well today. There is an article, who's it from here? GameStar, the German news company, and it's in German, but we're going to translate it. And they got to have an hour of hands-on playtime with the 1.0 update, and they got to share a lot of stuff about it. So we're going to be reading that, which is also part of why I wanted to go live today with this. It's going to be really cool. Seen your screenshots? Oh, Joe, did you post some stuff 1.0 related? Because, yeah, if you guys have other things that you've seen and stuff, post them in the Discord, tag me. We're going to go through them today. It's going to be a big just chat and Q&A and all that fun stuff. Should be cool. But yeah, I think that's part of what Chiselchip is going over tonight. Yep, that's what we'll be trying to do, the article and everything. Losing your sanity, not seeing other people mention it because there's some cool info and screenshots. Exactly. Oh, you did post some stuff 1.0 related in the screenshots tab, Joe? Let me look at it. Maybe I passed. Oh yeah, the detail and stuff. That was from their trailer though, right? You took those from their trailer. Yeah, for the world SDF files and stuff. But yeah, it's gonna be incredible. So I'll point that out. I've got some things to say on that, Joe. Olin Holder, welcome in. Welcome back. Bought the game at launch day, never got into it. 1.0 might be when you start playing it. Heck yeah. I mean, it's a great time to start right now. Even better with 1.0, right? It's going to be amazing. So, all right, what do you guys? What should we start off with? Should we just dive in with the news article? I'm sure that's what a bunch of you are probably here for, people watching the VOD. Let's dive in with the news article. All right, so I've gone ahead and done a little translate. And let's see here. I want to put the chat a little bit higher. Okay. Cool. So this is the article we're about to dive in, and it's gonna be super exciting, you guys. Won't be able to tune in because it's 1 in the morning where you are. You'll be watching first thing in the morning. Heck yeah. Enjoy the replay, and thanks for stopping by to say hi. No new biomes or story progression, I guess. Yes, there will be a new biome and a lot more story progression. So excited with the new biome and everything. Yeah, it brings with it. I know, it's gonna be amazing. It's gonna be absolutely amazing. So, since January early access, so this is being translated into English. I'm running a translator on my browser right now. So, because this site is otherwise in German, I apologize if we have any ads or things on it that may or may not be appropriate. I have no idea. I looked through it and I don't see anything bad, but it's a very heavy ads article site. Okay. So, since early access, Enshrouded has had 8 major updates, countless patches, new areas, weapons, enemies, mechanics. Over 2.5 years later, the German survival game is nearing completion. Version 1.0 will be released on October 15th and includes a host of new features, as well as the final piece of the puzzle for the story and open world. The next big step, but not the last. As we sat down with the developers of Enshrouded, this is GameStar, by the way, the German news company who got a chance to check out an hour of the update, and showed us a major 1.0 update, and wow, Keen has a lot planned for it. And here are just 5 of the most important things before we go into more detail. Nova Girl, welcome. First time catching the live stream, been watching a lot of your Enshrouded videos. Heck yeah. Appreciate you stopping by. Yeah, super hyped. So we have a little bit of it's coming to PS5. We've got some timestamps here, but this is where we want to keep reading. Bigger, but also better. Let's start with the big one. The Enshrouded is expanding. The world of Enshrouded is expanding for now one last time with a new floating islands. So this is that lava biome / floating islands that we see a glimpse of in their trailer, which we're also going to take a look at later and dissect some of their videos a little more with that. The entire map, entire game spans approximately 100 square kilometers. Exploring the islands is a bit more vertical than the rest of the world. We overcome significant differences in altitude using climbing, grappling hooks, and gliders. And this is, yeah, you need the sword. I know you guys are already looking at the screenshot there, and that's something new. I should have said major spoilers in this, but you guys, if you want everything there is to know, you're clicking on this video anyway. So yeah, it's climbing, and this is going to be likely a thing, and also 3D, you get the reference as well, because 3D was showing me some stuff today where we're going to be having like these climbing claws or something that you can basically climb around on terrain, is what it looks like is going to happen for this climbing. And I'll mention that part because it's already in this article, publicly mentioned here. So yeah, climbing, for all of you that have been interested in like a climbing mechanic, looks like that's going to be happening with the floating islands here. So, let's see here. We overcome significant differences. Yeah, so altitude, gliders, climbing, all that. New enemies include robotic creatures. Among them, new bosses like a giant spider. I know some of you aren't going to like that, but it's going to be very interesting, I think. Like climbing axes, more of, maybe Vogear, tune in for another stream that we'll do like in a little bit. Because I have some more info and things that I might be able to share, but I'm not in any kind of closed beta or things like that. I'll say that much. But yeah, it's more like a trinket sort of thing that you equip that gives you like little climby things on your hands. So anyway, new areas. The story revolves primarily around the mysterious ancient civilization of the Builders. who are also believed to have designed the deadly robot guardians. So again, this is translated from German. This is, not the sort of official wording of some of the things. And so there'll be, slight translation things that I'll try to cover and go over and things like that. And I also had one of my German streamer friends reach out with some info and all of that to make sure I'm sort of getting this right. But so that was very nice. To reach the islands, we must first traverse new dungeons constructed by the builders. Okay, so this is like a very sort of something inspired by the mini games, I think, you guys, when it comes to what they're doing with this quest to reach these floating islands. And this is sort of the ultimate, you're done with the journey, end of the story stage of Enshrouded. You're reaching this very interesting quest when it comes to traversal and dungeons and the story. I think there's a lot of content, actually, and this might be quite a massive biome and exploration update, a lot bigger than we initially thought when it came to Enshrouded. So hopefully that means we'll get all the blocks from the builders. Yeah, House of Thevia. Some amazing blocks and terrain materials to come for sure. I'll tell you guys that much, and we might take a look at them soon as well. Not in today's stream, but as soon as I get the go-ahead from the devs, we may take a look at some of the perceived new materials. Yeah, the speculation, because we have them, courtesy of 3D Designs, who has been doing some code with the game stuff. Okay, so let's just click on the screenshot, see if we can see view an original size. I don't know if that makes it full. It does. That makes it full. Nice. Look at this. So yeah, a new type of sword, 2 new armor sets that we can see right off the bat. Yeah, maybe like a mage and a tank or something, a couple different armor. There's even more armor to come. There may very well be like 6+ armor sets or more with this new expansion. So yeah, and Lauren and Poison, welcome in everyone. Welcome Joe the Wizard. Hope y'all are doing well. So yeah, this is very, very cool. We already get to see a lot in the screenshots and a very close-up of our floating islands here, which these in combination with the better render distance of Enshrouded is incredible. They're not disappearing. They're not, like, we can actually see them and imagine the adventure we're going to get to go on. Like, I even see, like, back up in here, maybe some, like, waterfalls or something. I don't know what I'm seeing in here, but let's just say a lot of stuff. A lot of stuff is currently, if I'm kind of zooming in, we might get some really cool, like, Avatar vibes from this biome. So that's pretty incredible. I'm really, really excited to see that, and it's sort of this scorched biome as well. So yeah, super excited. It's gonna be crazy. It's gonna be crazy, you guys. All right, so that's not all here. Keen hasn't forgotten the rest of the world, dozens of locations and existing areas. And sorry for this ad. This is not related to that's The Witcher, I think, or something else. Existing areas are being reworked, spruced up. In addition, there are graphical improvements. Distant areas and buildings are now rendered in significantly more detail, no longer blur into the unsightly blocks. Yeah, so this is amazing. We already went over that in the video that I posted yesterday. Shouldn't require any additional processing power. Yeah, in fact, it's probably going to be better on the processing power. The developers promise noticeable performance optimizations for the update. Okay, so this is where, okay, I don't want that. All right, all the ads. This is where things get crazy, you guys. They're adding logic to the game. They're adding logic to the game. We didn't know, because when I was talking to the developers and other things, like, they just haven't released a whole lot of info about that yet. And that was something I was wondering, because they were supposed to have their logic engine, like, version 1 that was out, like, with the last update, but they never got around to it. So it just kind of left the roadmap, and I was like, oh, are we gonna, is things gonna be that way? Anyway, base building like Minecraft. One of the biggest features coming with 1.0 is for base building, it receives a new logic system that allows us to automate our base to a certain extent, or even build our own dungeons, okay? We build things like levers, pressure plates, and switches that can be chained together to perform specific functions. They open doors, close doors, activate drains, turn on or off the lights. Those who want to do more than just light up their base at the push of a button can also spawn enemies or trigger traps. You guys, super cool. With a little skill, yeah. You can even build your own dungeons just like the ones we have already found in the game. So think of being able to make, literally like what I was saying, we can make our own dungeon crawler mini games for each other, share them on the adventure sharing, play through them, and have a ton of fun. So you betcha we could try to do like a community server and try to build combine like 10 flame altars together and build some massive dungeon crawler mini game. That would be so cool. And being able to even spawn enemies and all kinds of stuff like that. So yeah, we're getting like the equivalent of Minecraft's Redstone to the game, essentially, to have all kinds of really cool automations. Yeah, death counter primed and ready, right? It's gonna be amazing. So yeah, for hobbyists who have already built complex redstone machines in Minecraft, this looks like a dream come true. So absolutely amazing, amazing, amazing. Small but mighty. Those who have already spent a few hours in Enshrouded will also be delighted that by many small improvements in the major update, which primarily serve comfort, but also tweak the balance. Chests in the base can be upgraded directly without having to remove the items stored. And just drag, yeah, and then this is like a translation, stored there, and just drag the chest to the workbench. So this is basically what they're saying is, I don't have to go and replace all the chests in my storage room in the tree village with better chests and take all the stuff out of them and worry about reorganizing everything and yada yada. I can just click on the chest and upgrade it, and it will pull, from the resources, and that's probably how it's going to work. It will go to the next level up because the chests are all the same voxel size. They're just different properties on each of them. So this is incredible. A really cool quality of life update right there. Prey can be collected automatically. So this is kind of it's loot. It just translated to prey. Loot can be collected automatically, so they're adding auto loot, you guys, which was a huge requested feature here. We no longer have to pick up every individual piece of wood we cut down from a tree, etc. So you just walk over things and you pick it up, and much easier. Not that it was ever that bad of a grind, but yeah, auto loot pickup, nice, very nice change. So the NPCs now fully voiced dialogue. I know you guys are probably already reading ahead from me. This is like something that I think just brings games to life so much. Also a huge reason I'm definitely starting a new playthrough for 1.0, because this kind of stuff it makes the game so soulful and so much more engaging, and I think finishing a game should definitely come with voice-acted dialogue. So whether this is just the NPCs, we can also now easily listen to the notes scattered throughout the world. Not just the NPCs. We get, those recordings can be paused and played back whenever you want. So, like, I don't have to, do a million cuts, my really poor, I should say really fantastic reading skills, fumbling over all these fancy, fantastical words. We can get read to. I can just chill and let you guys hear the audio from the notes and the NPCs. So I'm really curious if they're just gonna have one reader reading the audio, or if they'll have different voice actors from if a note is from Emily the farmer or something like that, will they use Emily's voice to read the note? This is gonna be really interesting. Yeah, great. Really don't like to read. Yeah, same. So this is a big one for me. Maybe not. Maybe not for some people. I really love it. So this is absolutely incredible. These recordings can be pause and play back whenever we want. There are new spells for mages, as well as a heavy attack for the small wand. The game balances have also been tweaked. So we have a advanced necromancy, thing that they just put a little sneak peek on of the screen here, and also, because 3D. I'm gonna reference some things from your mall. We're not gonna show them in today's stream, but if it's publicly mentioned here, I'm gonna reference some stuff. in the game's code, there basically is a or just a normal gem of necromancy now. So for 1.0, we're gonna have more powerful necromancy for the mages. Let's just say that, which is really cool. I'm really excited and happy about that. A few tweaks there. Yeah, with 1.0, mages can also become necromancers, definitely. All right, we can build bases in the fog, so in the shroud. But to do so, we have to work our way into the shroud from outside. So what this basically is saying is, eventually, this whole, like, what we were predicting, this overarching theme of, you know, becoming Flameborn and braving the world and saving the NPCs and things like that, you guys are getting your request. It sounds like, whether it's a Flame Altar upgrade or something along those lines, to be able to build in the Shroud. I don't know if that's locked till endgame or if that can be unlocked earlier in the game, but yeah, that unlocks a whole nother chunk of the map to build in crazy, mysterious places. I mean, imagine building our haunted Halloween church or like a gothic city in the Shroud. These things would be so incredible to do. So we also get boxes and markers in the world can be named, which is super cool. Getting started with the game is simplified and the initial grind is reduced. I don't know entirely what they mean by this, but I never found it to be too bad. I guess we'll see what happens. I'm always down for tweaks. Hopefully it's for the better. This will be amazing though. And then player models can be given more realistic proportions via the settings if desired. Yeah, this was something they went over in their video. A bunch of people didn't really understand that, which is kind of funny because when I did like a little reaction to that initially a long time ago, I got a bunch of comments of like, oh, I kind of liked the whole Hobbit vibe of Enshrouded, and I don't like that they're taking that away and making the characters like proportional now. It's like, guys, they're not bigger, they're not taller, they're just more proportional, and you can still toggle the setting off if you want the Hobbit look for characters. This is not being forced upon you. So let me get that out of the air. Is that you can toggle your original, you know, the way it is now. You can have your Hobbit-looking characters, which does have some amount of charm and Enshrouded. It's so good with Hobbit house building and whatever. So yeah, just a toggle, and that is worth mentioning since I did get a lot of comments about that. Player models can be given more realistic proportions, yeah, with the settings if desired. So you've got the toggle there. So, even though Update is supposed to complete the game world, according to developers, it doesn't mean King Games is finished with Enshrouded. They said they plan to continue working on the survival game for years to come, as it has been a huge success for the small development studio. They've reached 5.5 million copies sold. Keen isn't currently working on a new project and is focusing on Enshrouded for the time being. What exactly is planned after version 1.0 remains a secret. However, the studio is considering exploring entirely new worlds within Enshrouded, so we can look forward to seeing where this journey takes us. I have a lot more to say about that as well, also based on some of their sneak peeks in the videos, because one of the videos we're going to watch and dissect a little bit, we see these massive telescopes and portal-looking things and all kinds of stuff. These will be in there for 1.0, but I was chatting with 3D on the mall today, and in the game's code, there's also like there's things related to the stars and this Flameborn concept that he made a good point about, and I wanted to address this right now because this article is directly mentioning that, is that eventually when we get to this floating island stage of the game, we may be able to almost portal, or like there will be this whole astronomy aspect to the game where we can portal to other dimensions, worlds, things like that, that eventually could be either free expansions, paid DLCs, stuff like that, which we did have mentioned by the Keen Games developer Thorsten on the stream interview that I did with him a while back. So that they would like to continue with expansions and DLCs down the road. So this isn't the end of Enshrouded. We still have a bit to come, but that's very exciting. Joe, welcome in, and everyone else who's been joining. I know the chat's busy. We'll do a bunch of questions here soon. So definitely have a bunch of questions and speculations and all kinds of stuff. We'll chat a bit, but I definitely wanted to go over some of this. It has a next page that kind of sounded like it was done. The conclusion. Okay, recently started playing Enshrouded again. Co-op would probably spend for building. Let's see, having to read everything myself in the story. Yeah, so this was just his personal take on things. Pretty much the same as me. You know, I love that there's narration. We're getting the logic. So many amazing updates, you guys. It's incredible, and I'm really looking forward to exploring all of this, and even just the screenshot here that we get a look at is just incredible. There's so much here, so much. So I wanted to read that article to you guys because I did not, include much of that in my video. It's funny, I also got like a ton of comments on the little reaction video that I did yesterday of people like, oh, this is really disappointing. All they're doing for 1.0 is performance tweaks. I could care less about the way the game looks. I just want more content, and it looks like they're not adding anything. Like, no, you guys, you just got to be a little bit more patient. They're adding a lot of content, including this whole new biome and the hollow halls. They're finishing the mountain biome hollow halls. They're finishing the water biome hollow halls. We're getting new armor sets and things from those specifically. New, ectoplasm type stuff. It's going to be absolutely amazing. We're probably getting a higher level cap because of this. Another thing I was looking at with 3D is a higher level flame altar with possibly a larger boundary and possibly even more altars that we can place in the world, especially with this higher render distance they're giving us. So to say the least, I said the water biome update's probably the biggest update they'll ever have, and maybe that's true from a technical perspective because creating water in the voxel game, they just did an outstanding job. But this update is a lot more than I think you guys think right now. So definitely we're getting so much content, And I put some notes down on other stuff I wanted to go. Oh yeah, a few other things that I was able to just get from the devs. They're being very quiet about this update, which is totally understandable. But I asked them about trees as well, because I know a bunch of you guys wanted to know about the blackmire trees and the willow trees that they added, things like that. So we will be able to plant the large revelwood trees come 1.0. They did say that, so hopefully that happens. As well as the willow trees. So if you guys like the new willow trees that were added in the last update, I believe, that we cannot plant, I think you guys will be able to plant those in the 1.0 update. I'm hoping the mossy trees and some of those things as well. We're also getting a whole bunch more plants. You guys can see these plants in the side of the image here. Those are pretty much confirmed. I also 3D also has those in the game code there in his mall, and the one that I got to check out today. So that's the kind of stuff I'll share with you guys in another stream soon, hopefully, if the developers give me the go ahead. And then I will show you guys some of that, some of those new terrain materials and all kinds of things that we can expect from this biome. And yeah, that'll be really exciting. So yeah, a whole bunch of new plants, new props, new building pieces, all kinds of things. We'll be able to farm hardwood then? Yeah, most likely. If you can plant those big trees, you should be good to go. Assuming they still drop the same wood if they're planted, then that should work. Help you fix your PC. Need your brain? Oh no, Mina, is it not working? Interaction with NPCs? Yeah, I don't know entirely how. I mean, they mentioned in their things they wanted to fix for 1.0 that the NPCs are gonna be much less getting stuck and all kinds of things like that. And then if their dialogue, if they're actually voice acted, that's gonna make engagement better. I don't know entirely how much the NPC's liveliness is gonna improve. I don't think we're gonna get anything close to like Pal World when it comes to actual NPCs and pets really doing anything in the world. I don't think so, at least not with the 1.0 update, but I could be wrong. Maybe they'll add a few things there. But yeah, big things to say the least that I was really impressed about. I also asked them about the snowstorms in the mountains. That was something that was sort of a catching thing that was prominent for me. Because for any of you that played the mountain biome, when it first dropped, there used to be these massive snowstorms that would cover the ground in a bunch of snow, and it looked beautiful and it was so immersive. Maybe it had a graphics issue or something for some people, and so they just got rid of it altogether. But anyway, they took the snowstorms out of the mountains. We still get some like snowy flurries and like cloudy weather in the mountains, but I loved the snowstorms that would just cover the ground in white, and it was so pretty. But so I asked them about that. The dev just reacted to my post with the little googly eyes, and then was like, I can't really say much about what we're adding in 1.0. I was like, okay, I understand. That probably means that I just wanted to be sure they're aware of that. So we hopefully will get the the snowstorms back with 1.0 and possibly some more weather stuff, especially with the graphics that we're seeing, which is super cool. Weren't we supposed to be able to play music with the NPCs? That would be pretty cool. Maybe they'll add that. I don't know entirely the answer to that just yet. Thanks for streaming this. Don't think I would have learned all this information at the time if you didn't. So hyped for this. Heck yeah. I wanted to because, I've been getting tons of questions about, like, what actually is the content that we can sort of expect. So this article obviously goes over a whole lot of stuff. So, that was the big thing I really wanted to do today. And then I also want to, I'll go ahead and I'll start pulling up some videos and stuff because we have the reveal. For any of you that did not watch my stream on the reveal, I wanted to play this one for you. I don't know if I'll do like a ton of audio in this one so that you can. Let me go ahead and share the screen here soon, just so we can see it. But yeah, I did a stream when I was on vacation actually because they dropped this when I was out on vacation. Already right there in the shot, the opening shot. Beautiful graphics, far render distance. We already are noticing like this is crazy. We get to see the floating islands in this lava biome, which is going in between the Black Mire and the mountains, or like the water biome, I guess, in the mountains, kind of in that area. In the back of the map. So is it going to be as big as the water biome? Honestly, it very well looks like it. It may even be bigger actually than the water biome. And the reason I say that is because we get this whole verticality feature. So while it might not be more square map space, I always tell people this about the Enshrouded map. It might like seem small from above, but you have the underworld. It's like Stranger Things in this game. The verticality of this map is insane, the amount of stuff you can explore. They make use of all their caves and all their tunnels and all the underground stuff as well. And now with the floating islands, which is really cool. So yeah, this is amazing in the opening shot right here. And then we get a new enemy in this section. We get this this werewolf. A little bit of an image there in the shadow as well. So a werewolf. We also get a little preview of some new armor in that section there. End of the world suffering, yeah. So a new mage armor set. This is the water biome hollow halls. A little preview of what's to come there, which is really cool. So again, just going over this briefly. I know I did it in another stream, but had to show you guys since we're talking about it today. There's so much in here. For sure. That's just really, really cool. Yeah, and then this shot as well. This is the big one that you guys are asking. No new content, no new biomes. This is a whole new biome, you guys. It's gonna be pretty big. Does it look a little bit empty from the surface? Yeah, it's very like lava and all kinds of stuff there. 3D though, correct me if I'm wrong, but what you had was sort of the magma cracked terrain. I think this lava, I'm gonna still speculate that maybe they're gonna have it as like a flowing liquid physics if they do that for like tar and lava. So that would be really freaking cool. But guys, look at how massive this adventure is. Like, it looks small in this shot because we're staring at this from so far away. But like that right there is like probably the size of like an ancient spire. Like this is huge. So that's a lot of exploration and a lot of new content, which we weren't even expecting originally with Enshrouded. We didn't even know that there would be anything when it came to a whole new biome coming out, and they're actually doing something for that. Feel like the ability to make your own dungeons will be, with spawned enemies is going to open up for a lot of, already plentiful endgame. Exactly, it's going to be amazing. It's going to be amazing. So much fun with mini games and stuff. So lava area and the sky island are two different biomes. I think it's all kind of together. But I guess you could almost think of them as two separate biomes in a way. But I believe the sky islands are definitely tied to it and the same terrain materials and the same like vibe as this lava area, right? But the sky islands, kind of like what I was saying earlier, I think there's this whole, they're almost like tied to the earth with things, and like this is your ultimate voyage with with a lot of like astronomy type stuff that's going to be happening, I think, within these sky islands for possible portals to dimensions or unlocking sections of the shroud, things like that, which is really cool. So yeah, that shot it's just incredible. We get to really see some of those there. All right, so I wanted to go over that again just to show you guys the new, that's what we've seen of that new biome, along with the other screenshot, that was shared in the article here. These are kind of the main ones of, and there's sort of the up close during the middle of the day of these islands here, which was cool. We're getting controllable lava, maybe, possibly alpha, and that's something that we'll have to see. Yeah, I was on DDG for his 1K push. Hell yeah, Arxum. That's awesome. And congrats to DDG. Technically already have lava in other biomes. We do, and so that's what makes me think they might tweak it to be like a more liquid style lava. That lava there just looked a lot more red and a lot more, it looked better than what we had before, so I guess we'll see. Yeah, can totally see climbing to those islands would be so cool. Yeah, climbing, grappling, all those things. We already have the grapple mechanic, but the climbing is going to be a new one, yeah. Wonder if we'll have interaction between floating water and floating lava. Oh, like flowing water and flowing lava, yeah. I kept thinking floating because I'm floating islands, looking at the floating islands. Yeah, so the water and the lava, I don't know what they'll do between them. I doubt it's going to be like Minecraft in that way, where we're going to have like obsidian or rock that creates in between them. That would be insane. So I highly doubt that's going to be the case, but I guess you never know what they have in store for us. You never know. That place up there looked like a good place for the spider boss. Yeah, it's something up at the top of this big one, and you can see there's all kinds of like little, if I go back to the image here, little POIs and little stuff all around the islands and the top of this big one, maybe, maybe something related to the boss up there. Yeah, this is a lot though. We really do get to see a lot. Can't wait to see the new enemies. Yeah, definitely bird people. We saw the lore on the water biome. Yeah, exactly. There's gonna be a lot. And yeah, we already got to see a little bit in some of the videos. Let me go to the next one. The things they're fixing is something that I wanted to go over because we didn't do that one on a stream. So I was going to play this one here for you guys. Let's see. Let me unmute the audio, and hopefully you guys will be able to hear this one. It was a little less, crazy than some of the other stuff, but for existing things that they already know about that they're tweaking, some of you might like this, some of you might not. I don't think anything in here was bad per se. It's just a few differences.
Flameborn. Today, we're going to be talking about some of the changes you can expect to see in Enshrouded when the game releases out of early access on the 15th of October. These are all based on feedback from you, the players. So as usual, thank you for sharing your feedback.
Yeah, a lot more shots here again of the transition here of mountains to these. So here it looks like this is the Veil Water Basin. So there we've got our water biome, and then right up behind it, this is where that lava biome sits, and it looks like there's going to be a little bit of an entrance here, and that entrance is probably where the character was standing in the screen, in the pause that we got the last time. You think there's a chance that they would move? The islands would move? Probably not, Joe the Wizardy. In fact, I'm pretty much 100% sure they will be stationary, but maybe there will be like pre-built, pre-rendered aspects of the islands that will move to like that you jump on to do parkour and takes you up or something. Could be.
Dragon Youngling. It has long been the last boss in the game, and for many, it has been less of a formidable foe and more of an impassable obstacle.
Yeah, there you can really see as well. There's the floating islands. Again, my camera here. Just so you guys can see, again, a little bit more of where they are. And then we see the lava. You guys can see that flowing kind of behind where the chat is. There's a lot of lava, and this is actually quite a massive biome. It wraps all the way around. And then there's the big tree from Blackmire. So we get quite a huge expansion there, which is cool to see.
We're taking a few steps to remedy that. First, we're fixing the bugs that meant that the boss would sometimes reset to full life. But we're also fixing the bugs that sometimes got the boss stuck and unresponsive.
Yeah.
The next steps we're taking are increasing the depth of the arena so that players will less often accidentally fall off or be...
I think this is good. I didn't have any issues with this when I was like fighting this boss solo or with Crimson or any of my friends. But if you had like a 16-player server and you turned up the difficulty and things like that, I could see where having a larger fighting area would definitely be helpful. So that's nice that they're changing some things.
By the dragon's gust of wind.
They got to try to appeal to the masses when it comes to these things. You know, some people might like it more challenging. Thankfully, you do get all of the sliders with this game. You can turn difficulty up of anything, as high or as low as you want. So, you know, I think people that are disappointed in, oh, maybe it's becoming easier to fight the boss, you just turn it up if you want the challenge, I guess. I know the vanilla players out there who don't want to mess with settings and stuff, of course, but I think overall these tweaks don't seem bad.
We are also adding an additional phase where the dragon will land on the ground and...
Yeah, you'd like it if the dragon... Yeah, just the dragon youngling could be adjustable in difficulty. I think that is probably why they're nerfing it a little bit, because of the fact that it was just so far ahead of all the rest of the bosses that I think you just needed like a little bit more flow into it. And I think that's probably why, because yeah, they don't have a... I don't think they have a separate slider for it. That's a good
melee
point.
Players will be able to attack it without needing it to be stunned. Speaking of stunning, did you know that melee builds can reflect the rock projectiles to stun the dragon? The game does tell you, but anecdotal evidence from talking to many of you shows that a number of our players aren't trying to parry the projectiles.
Yeah.
We are also reducing the amount of stunning attacks required before the dragon gets stunned.
That's kind of nice.
Increasing the damage taken normally.
We'll have to just one-shot this thing as a level 45 mage now. We're going to have to go back in and do the boss fight. The bug that got him stuck and unresponsive was how you finished the fight. Yeah, so the combination of it being easier but less buggy, I think you'll probably be able to get it. You'll probably be able to get it. Have the hardest time with the boss on normal difficulty, not too bad at combat in this game. Yeah, so I think overall their nerfs to it and things are going to be appreciated by most of the community.
As well as making the weak spot on its back effective for all weapon types. We're also
That's nice. That's nice, especially for melee players that might not be as good at parrying and stuff like that. That's going to be nice.
Stay stunned for a little longer, but to even it out, it will take a little less damage than before while stunned. Its hitbox will be refined to make it easier to hit, and last but not least...
That's nice. The hitbox was kind of my issue as a mage.
We're significantly reducing its overall health. Our goal with these changes is to make the fight against the Fell Dragon Youngling a challenge without turning it into a chore.
Yeah.
Another addition we're making is that dying will no longer immediately reset the health of the enemies you are fighting.
That already is going to be huge for a lot of people. If dying doesn't reset it, you guys are definitely going to be able to get this boss. I believe in you.
Instead, they will slowly regain their health, so that a death in a tough fight doesn't always mean a complete do-over, and you get a chance to whittle away at your enemies.
That's nice.
We're currently testing this feature internally to find a sweet spot, but as always, we'll be listening to your feedback. A lot of you were very vocal about not liking the changes brought to Updraft by Update 8, which added a charge-up time to Updraft and changed the strength of the movement accordingly. You were very, very vocal. As you're well aware, we're making the game for you. So we're now letting you choose which version of Updraft you want with this nifty new setting in the Game tab.
Yep.
So, you've got the old instant updraft.
What do you guys like? Let me know in the chat. Do you like the old updraft where you can press it a ton of times to like scale up hills and stuff, or do you like the new one where it prevents you from toggling it so that you can't instantly cheese your way up any bit of terrain? I kind of liked the old way, but at the same time, I might use the new way for my playthrough just to have it be like, you know, to where I have to explore a lot of the world. But like as an end game player, I'd probably like the toggle just to be on the old one. Yeah, you like the cheese way, the old way. Yep. Because yeah, especially as an endgame player, because it's like, oh, once I've explored the world and sort of gone through the adventure, it's just easy to like run around and do things. You like each for different reasons. Yeah, exactly. So you guys will have a toggle.
The new, slower
That's
one
nice.
if you think gliders are OP. Pick the option that works best for you. Many of you over the years...
They show new materials or building stuff. Stay tuned for more streams. We'll likely be bringing you a lot of looks. Sorry, my dog's going nuts, so as usual. We'll be bringing you a look at a lot of new materials shortly if the devs approve. It's sort of accessible. 3D was showing me some of the things, so... But yes, we get a lot of new building materials and terrain.
Have affectionately called your flameboard hobbits due to their slightly exaggerated head, hand, and feet sizes. But
yeah, you like the old way, but with the new climbing mechanic, might keep the new version. Exactly. And I don't know when we unlock that climbing mechanic. That's gonna be the key. Is it something in the skill tree? When can we craft those climbers, as I'll call them right now? And they look like they're probably going to be craftable from metal, so it's probably at least halfway through the game, but we'll see. That is going to be an interesting concept.
1.0, we're once again giving people what they want by adding new player proportions to look more like you're here to save the realm, and less...
So you're still the same height. It's not going to affect your gameplay. It's just a different proportion if you choose.
Like you're looking for second breakfast. If you already have an existing character, head over to Elio Ricci, who can use his scissors to give your Flameborn a little trim. Looking a little fresher, no? One thing that we've heard a lot from players building extensive bases and populating them is that their inhabitants tend to get stuck in awkward places. We've all had to rescue a pet who ventured where it shouldn't, but when it happens in a game, it can...
Yeah, exactly, Isaac. A lot of devs removes player's choice instead of both styles. Kudos to these devs for understanding the player's choice and having fun is ultimately what people want. Exactly. Making things toggled and everything like that, I think that's the perfect way to do it, rather than just simply removing or changing features. Again, great. I do speak of these devs as devs that listen very well to player feedback. Incredibly well. One of the best dev teams that I've seen when it comes to that, while still staying true to their game.
Can get frustrating. And when it happens to a grown man, it's even worse. Come on, Oswald.
Huh?
How did you get there?
Me? Just hanging around.
There's no quick fix for this, as there are many reasons why our NPCs and pets can end up stuck in the wrong places. However, all of the reasons we're currently aware of are fixed, which should cover most of the current cases players are seeing. If in the future we see this behavior happen again, we'll fix it too.
Yeah, that already will be nice. I think my NPCs they felt alive initially, but I had to keep just summoning them in because they'd just get stuck everywhere.
Fishing has been reworked on a deep level to be less frustrating. Bait now attracts fish predominantly
nice.
from the biome from which bait resources were taken. Improved fishing bait guarantees that biting fish will correspond to the tier of the bait. Location has no influence on the chance of catching fish. Specific fishing spots increase the chance for treasure and trash, just like some rods do.
Yeah.
Other specific fishing spots increase the chance for fish to bite. Keen fishers will be able to tell these spots apart by paying close attention.
Okay, so it looks like it's not going to increase the fish per se of what you get just by fishing, because this was something I was curious about. When they mentioned this, I was like, well, there's a lot of cool locations when it comes to the scenery that I would choose to build like a fishing hut, and I might not want to build my fishing hut near one of these designated fishing locations. And I would hate for the game to sort of force me to do that. It sounds like they're just going to be slightly more challenging or slightly more treasure or trash when you fish it up, but it's not really going to have an effect on your fishing overall. So it looks like we can still build our fishing huts and our water builds wherever we feel like.
These are only some of the changes we're bringing to Enshrouded for 1.0, and you will hear more from us over the coming weeks. We hope you're excited for this game's release out of Early Access and onto PlayStation 5 on October 15th. And in the meantime, let us know in the comments which of these changes you're most excited for.
Yeah. So that was their video on the changes. And then I reacted to the one that we saw yesterday, which was my personal favorite.
Welcome back, Flameborn. Today we're going to be taking a look at some of the work that's going on to help make Enshrouded run better. This is a topic that's very important to us. So in today's video, you'll be hearing...
This video was the one that I reacted to. This is they're basically increasing render distance, and performance by a long shot. It's absolutely incredible. But I wanted to, I'll just mute it and sort of go through. I wanted to look at the world a bit because in some of the shots we get to see some new mobs and styles when it comes to some of that. New armors, things like that. And I wanted to point some of those out as we kind of come across them. Obviously, render distance is incredible, which is super cool. Let's see if I can find some of the mob shots and things. Yeah, I was like they were explaining the whole render distance thing. They reworked the entire thing there, which is amazing. Let's see here. I think it was near the end was where they were mainly doing some of the stuff. This was where they were showcasing a few more things in here. We get these caps and things for the astronomy, the whole astronomy concept. I don't know if that was more near the end, but we got, yeah, here it is. This is what I wanted to show you guys that we were talking about earlier in the stream. We see the big telescope at the top of this, and this is the mountains right over here. So this leads me to think that this here is something near the floating islands. And yeah, we see this big telescope-looking thing, which I think is definitely something's gonna be up with that in that area. Yeah, so pumped for the improved render distance. I know it's absolutely incredible. Yeah, the reflections is what they were going over in this shot here. Yeah, the detail, the depth in the forest. You can even see some of the blues and things coming in the distance. The interesting thing is, and I didn't comment this in the video just because it was like I was just trying to make a short video and react to it. But the interesting is they actually had the graphics really good when the game first came out. Back in like the closed beta and the demo of the game that I played, over 2 years ago and stuff, they had really impressive graphics. The visuals were good. They had decent depth to the game. And then the issue was that the performance was just really, really bad. The game ran just crazy high GPU temps. It was hard to run on some people's hardware, so then they nerfed everything big time. They just put a big graphics block to the game. And then slowly over the years, they've been introducing better graphics at a performance-friendly way. So we got the whole visual enhancement update a few updates ago, where they redid all of the lighting and the visuals to look a little bit better, but it still wasn't, like, in my opinion, my favorite graphics of this game was when it first launched. It was so good. Not the render distance per se. It was better than it is now, but it wasn't perfect. I don't think it'll be better than it is for 1.0. That'll be amazing. But it had depth to it. It had the blues in the background. It was really pretty, and I really like what I'm seeing here as a performance-friendly way to bring those realistic visuals back. And I'm very, very excited, very happy to be seeing that again. Jaheem, welcome in. Hope you're doing well. But yeah, the whole ray tracing and everything, it's incredible. It's incredible what they're doing, incredible what their engine is capable of, and it's super cool. They mentioned the whole ray tracing thing is not going to be, it might not be available in time for the 1.0 update, but that it'll be shortly after if they don't end up finishing it in time. Adam, welcome. Thanks for joining. So yeah, that was the one we sort of reacted to there. We also have, this whole thing that they're rendering out that might have something to do again with this magical power, with the astronomy sort of a thing. And that was what Joe the Wizard, that's what you were sharing. That's your screenshots, right? In the Discord, that you were sharing the clump of screenshots that might have something to do. Let me go back to your post here. That might have something to do with sort of that astronomy stuff. Where you got the screenshot of the telescope, this piece here, and then this, that right there, which was from that video. So that's something to go along there. And then in 3D's world, the mall that I was looking around, and he was mentioning something about there being like a star map in the game's code as well. So that'll be interesting to see. And if that's all, if the devs are fine with me showing you guys some of that stuff eventually, we'll do another stream and show you some of the new materials and some of what we might expect in that regard when it comes to 1.0. But yeah, so it's gonna be very, very exciting. Very exciting. We're getting a lot of new content, to say the least, and I'm really looking forward to everything that they have in store for us. It's gonna be amazing. Wonder if they'll be changing the path of the sun again. I know, right? Again. I don't know. It doesn't look like it, purely because, like, in the floating islands shot, let me just go back to that video with the islands. Let's see here. I wanted to. It was near the end, I think. Yeah. And the floating island shot, we see the sun. What looks to be a sunset over here. And if that's the case, that's where it is right now, essentially, because this is behind Blackmire. So yeah, that's it likely looks like the sun is going to be in the same spot as it was before. They say anything about the drop rate of high-end gear? Nothing in particular about that, but they did say they're making the grind a lot less cumbersome, especially early game and stuff, for whatever they mean by that. I don't know all the specifics yet, but they also did a newsletter and a thing on Steam today, actually. I think it was this morning. Yeah, almost close enough. Let's see. Yeah, they mentioned at the end of it, basically the big takeaway was that they are going to be posting a lot of videos in the coming weeks. We'll see some stuff throughout September of some more details. So when we do, you guys can be assured that I will show them to you, and we'll talk about them. I'm very excited. I'm guessing maybe we'll see a little bit of their logic or something like that, just because that's going to be a big piece of it, and that might be a cool thing for them to release. But yeah, very, very exciting. And seeing how close Valheim and Enshrouded are dropping, yeah, early double Christmas, definitely. It's gonna be so amazing. And yeah, for any of you that don't know, we'll be jumping in with a big Valheim Forever World playthrough on September 9th. And also diving into the Deep North biome. That'll be the first few streams, is we're just going to show you guys the Deep North biome when it comes out for Valheim, and then I'll be jumping into my Forever World playthrough of that, and then we'll be doing tons of streams throughout September for Valheim, and then October starts Enshrouded, and you guys wanted a new playthrough, and I think with all the changes and visuals and dialogue and everything that we're getting for 1.0, I will definitely be doing that other playthrough, and then we'll tie that into a big endgame base. And with better render distance, you guys, I am so excited to be able to build with a little bit higher limits. I think that'll be amazing, very amazing. Rest of your gaming year is wrecked by those games. Yeah. It's probably a good thing though, right? Looking forward to the performance updates, because your GPU is getting really hot playing, even cause your CPU to crash. Oh no, yeah. Thankfully, I was one of the people that got lucky with it, where I never had issues with the game being buggy or crashing or anything like that. I did have one bug with the 4090 GPUs that was happening at one point, but it got fixed pretty quick, and it was just an in-game glitch for a visual glitch. Otherwise, though, everything has been really great for me. I even have always been able to run this game bug-free on my 3050 laptop, which just has an i9 processor with 16 gigabytes of RAM and a 3050, and that's all laptop specs, so it's not even as good as like a 3050 desktop GPU. And it runs great on there, and that's the same specs as a Steam Deck, basically, even a little worse than a Steam Deck in some cases. So yeah, it should run pretty great when 1.0 comes out. Even if you have to drop the settings a tiny bit, it should run pretty good. This will be one hell of a gaming winter. Oh yeah, you guys, we're gonna get cozy all winter. It's gonna be so much fun. It's gonna be crazy and cozy. Didn't have any issues with it affecting your CPU or GPU. Wait. Just that one explosive bug that's still there. Okay, gotcha. Yeah, that will be interesting when they mentioned all the lights and explosions and things like that. I did get some comments on the video that I did yesterday that were mentioning and commenting on the explosions. That some people have had bugginess when it came to those, and especially being an archer build with explosive arrows. So yeah, I'm hoping for their sake. Again, I never had issues with it. I'm hoping for their sake though that the explosions will perform nicely. And we'll see. Is that saved world on Nexus you download? Oh, for the yeah, you guys are talking about the resource world. I think yeah, ddddesigns.com. That's his resource world. That's the mall you can go to and get anything you want, which is really cool. Looking forward to the next build contest in the game. Yeah, they seem to do them kind of annually. I wouldn't be surprised if like shortly after 1.0, maybe end of the year, Christmas time, they do another building contest. Maybe it's related to traps, dungeons, using the logic. I don't know. We'll see what they end up coming up with. I'll let you guys know for sure. Look into when the update comes out. Yeah, definitely. Thanks for the info. Of course, Shaheem. I'll try to give you guys all the info I can on this game because I absolutely love it. It's an amazing game. It's my top survival game that I've ever played, and especially with visual and render updates, that really fixes the biggest complaints I had about this game compared to other survival games I played. So it's something that I'm just really excited about. I really am. It's going to be amazing. Part of the issue, I think, was the explosives are all exploding at the same time in the case of the red barrels. Oh, interesting. So it was just kind of like the whole thing, and it wasn't like a Minecraft TNT effect with the chaining of it or something. Yeah. No, there are some little bugs, some little things here and there that hopefully they will fix and do. But yeah, 3D's an Enshrouded boss, absolutely. 3D has, what are you at now? Like 5.1k hours or something in the game. So yeah, over 5,000 hours in the game for 3D. He's done the resource world that many of you are probably using if you've been on my channel, the mall, and yeah, he's incredible. And if the Enshrouded devs, I was gonna show you guys today, but then I decided to text one of the developers just to see and be sure I don't share anything that I shouldn't share, just because there's some things in the EULA for Enshrouded that mention stuff about tampering with the game's code, and so I just wanted to be absolutely sure I can show you guys some of the things. And if they say yes, which he said yes, but he just has to check with the team and get back with me tomorrow, then I will show you guys some of the new terrain materials and armor and plants and other things that we will probably see with the 1.0 update. I'll show you guys those in the game because 3D has mapped out some of the code for them and shared some of the textures and things like that of what they'll likely look like. And I know it's hard to sort of imagine that right now, but I will show you guys. We'll do another stream for sure. Lava, welcome in. Hope you're doing well. Any other questions? Any other thoughts you guys have after hearing what we heard today about the everything? I figured especially that article might have passed some of you by. If you're watching from the beginning of the stream when we read that, because that has a ton of info, and we have confirmed logic, voice acting, the floating islands, the climbing mechanic. There's a lot of stuff dumped into that article. And because it's in German and stuff, those are the kinds of things that don't really get in my feed. It's great to be friends with German streamers and stuff for those reasons. And then also some people were dropping the link to it in the Discord. I think when you dropped the link to it in the Discord too, saw it like on a Reddit post or something is where one of you found it. But yeah, so that's the kind of thing that I think that's something that hopefully you guys enjoyed. A little more info about it. Did they release new info since the update video from like a week ago? Oh yeah. Yesterday, if you didn't watch, I have a video reacting to it of all the performance upgrades and huge things, and then the stream I did today. I'll leave it up on YouTube. It'll be up for a long time. I think you can watch it again on Twitch for like 14 days. Just rewind it to the beginning. We shared a ton of stuff from anything you would have heard a week ago. Yeah, the voice acting is gonna be huge. Yeah, exactly. That's gonna be amazing. It's gonna be amazing. up to 2K hours in the game. Really excited about building dungeons with the real damage consequences. Yeah, I think that'll be really cool, really cool. And on the adventure sharing that they have, you can't destroy someone's world. Like the blocks are indestructible, if that makes sense, on those adventure sharing worlds. And so that way, the players can't just cheese your dungeons or destroy their way through or blow up your world, you know? Because that might also be an issue with 1.0, is like if you have a private server, you know, and you have a mini game, someone might just like mine or break apart your dungeon that you put a lot of work into. So, I don't know what'll happen with that. You know, maybe there'll be like indestructible blocks they'll allow us to use, and I don't know how the whole enemy spawning thing's gonna work. We still don't have any yay or nay on any kind of creative mode or build camera specifically is what I would really love for 1.0. Yeah, that's going to be amazing. Are there any hints as to how we will send the floating islands? Climbing and grappling when it comes to those being the main mechanics for those. So yeah, if you weren't here for the beginning of the stream, there's going to be a new climbing mechanic we don't currently have in the game that will be a piece of that for sure. Yeah, so it'll be cool. Yeah, in-game audiobooks. I know, like I'm actually really excited for that, and that's part of the big reason. Like we're doing a new playthrough, and we're gonna try to find like all the lore and stuff. That'll be so nice, so nice. Yeah. Lots of those updrafts, you're sure? Yeah, some of them maybe. Yeah, from like the mountain biome where we had and the water biome where we had those big updrafts placed in the world for the glider. There will probably be a lot of parkour and jumping around and respawn altars and, you know, all those things to get up to the floating islands. So it'll be fun. Put a fully upgraded altar underground and cleared the entire area so you can just see how big it is. Yeah. You get the chance to look up the cavern in the adventure sharing. Perfect. Yeah, for anyone that just wants to see how big a level 4, and we might even be getting level 5 flame altars for this 1.0 update, which is really cool. 17 hours shy of 2K mark in Enshrouded. Nice. Hope when they release the enemy spawners and logic switches, we can make our own hollow halls. Yeah, I think you'll be able to do that and even more. Things like making flashing lights when the character enters a room and this whole dramatic environment. And I think you'll be able to do a lot more, actually, by the sound of it than just the hollow halls. I don't know how much Minecraft and Redstone stuff the people that wrote that article played, but they compared it to that, and they said it was very, you know, it would be a dream for the players who are good at that kind of stuff. So yeah, it's gonna be awesome. Yeah, so many games to play this year, definitely. Definitely excited to see if they manage to give us 45-degree blocks. Yeah, to be able to build like a 45-degree angled wall, basically roof blocks and stuff, but on their sides. I don't know. We don't know that yet. We don't know that yet, unless you guys have had like crazy beady eyes and you managed to pinpoint something out of the trailer or something like that, but I did not see anything myself. Yeah, a build camera is on my big fingers crossed for 1.0. If we don't get that, I might try to use a mod or even make a mod or something that has a build camera, because and then I don't know, when it comes to creative modes and things, like 3D and I were talking about that earlier, we'd be fine, like, you know, him and I would be fine without any sort of creative mode, because he spent all that time on the resource world, the community, like it almost brings the community together for things like that, which can be kind of nice. And the resources in Enshrouded aren't really grindy, in my opinion. They're pretty easy to obtain, and then if you want to go to a resource world, even easier. I could get where creative mode could come in handy sometimes, because then you're not dealing with all the different recipes to make certain things, furniture and stuff like that when it comes to interior decoration, but that's also part of the fun in the building of it. The big thing, though, that I would love is to have a build camera, because, yeah, but you know, the sort of fly a build piece around. I would compare it to like RuneScape Dragon Wilds, you know, where you have your detachable, the Eye of Oculus, I think is what it's called, your detachable build piece that you can detach from your character and then go fly around with it to place it. Like maybe they give us a magical hammer in Enshrouded, that when we reach the end game or something, you unlock this magical hammer, and it allows you to maybe use up some runes or some of your dust or whatever from the from the gems or things. I don't know, to be able to have, or just be free, you know, just a nice magical hammer that we can fly around the hammer, but still have our character remain on the ground. So it's like we're not cheating at all. It just makes building so much more fun, if that makes sense. Yeah, that would be cool. You actually really love the resource worlds, just need the build camera. Yeah, exactly, Twiggle. That's kind of how I feel right now. Totally Average Gamer, welcome in. Good to see you. You can use the save file editor to use creative mode now and get access to some inaccessible blocks. Yes. So 3D, we were just talking about that early on stream. One of my friends, 3D in the chat, managed to get pretty much, I wouldn't say all of the new blocks, but almost all the new blocks and terrain materials from this new biome. They're incredible looking and stuff. Enshrouded just had some things in their EULA when it came to like accessing or sharing bits of the code that like weren't publicly available yet. So I just wanted to be sure that I could share that. So I did reach out to the devs. They're going to get back to me tomorrow. And then we might do another stream sharing a bunch of the new building materials and things like that we can see in the game's code. Yeah, that's currently might be coming for 1.0. So that should be fun. But welcome back. Hope you're doing well. Want to transport? Yeah, a transparent glass block to make windows and aquariums. Yeah, that would be cool. That'd be really cool, which we didn't see yet, but hopefully, eventually, that'd be a nice thing to bring in. I don't think 3D. I don't think you have code for glass blocks or something in your server, but hopefully they do something like that. I think they could. Your wish is that they add the spooky sound back to the well block? Yeah. That was kind of cool. I built my church out of those blocks just for the spooky vibe, and then they removed it. I could see why they removed it, but with logic, you guys, when they add logic back into the game, they might have like note blocks or sound blocks where you can place a block for an atmospheric sound and adjust what it plays. That would be really cool. I have a feeling maybe they would do that. Yeah. The name of his resource world, so just 3D, so DDDdesigns.com is the website, and all of the info for his resource world for the mall will be on there. Or yeah, you can search DDD Mall in the search bar. It'll probably come up there. It's not currently, this stuff isn't in his current mall version, just so that the masses don't get spoilers or all kinds of things like that. But he's got like a new and updated mall that he's using for, you know, doing some of the stuff for the 1.0 update. That's what I'm referring to when I'm saying some of this stuff. Did you see the bottom of the game? It's pretty cool texture. Yeah, with the blue, with the little blue texture there. They've changed the bottom texture of the game actually many times. Yeah, I did back in the demo, I dug to the bottom of the world, and it was like a turtle shell. It looked like these bronze tiles. It was interesting. And yeah, they've changed it now. They like to change it a little bit. Yeah, 3D's resource world is awesome. Yeah, it's super great. All right, any other questions and things that you guys have? Any thoughts and requests and stuff that, like, you know, some of you this might be your first time coming into Enshrouded, in which case I envy you. It's such an amazing game, and that's just, yeah, it's such a freaking good time to get into it. I think you're gonna love it if you love survival crafting games, with also such a great story, especially with the narration and stuff. Mainly the article was the big thing today, though, that I just really wanted to share with you guys, because that felt important. I was like, I gotta delay the Pal World stream. We gotta talk about some of this stuff. Because that was a big one. It was a really big one. Want the other shapes than the standard block shapes, especially some triangle pieces, make true castle tower. Yeah. We'll see what we get. You know, I don't know how much of that will happen, but we'll see what we can get. You're just so excited. Thanks for going into all this with us. Yeah, definitely. Is it possible to keep your old base and buildings after 1.0? Yes, 99.9% sure that will be possible. I know I've gotten some people in the comments voicing their concern of, should I start a new base when 1.0 comes out? And the answer is 99.9% sure. You do not have to start a new base or a new world or a new save or anything like that when 1.0 comes out. It should be like all the other updates, where you can just keep your existing world and existing save. And if they changed a piece of the terrain that's near your build, you might have the weird looking edges on it or something, like from before. because the terrain outside the flame altar regenerates. But yeah, like I said, you guys, I've had my world now for over 2 years, and it has been just fine. I've gotten all the new content, never had to start a new save, never had any bugginess with it. Some of the builds have like the little edges on the flame altar where the new terrain was, where the old terrain wasn't, you know, but it's kind of minor. It's not that bad. Yeah, I wouldn't worry about, you know, needing to start a new world. I think you'll be fine. You know, I'm going to continue in my existing world just to show you guys the 1.0 content before we dive into a Forever World playthrough from scratch. But yeah, you should be fine keeping your existing save. I wouldn't worry too much about that for those of you that are trying to get into big building projects and stuff like that. Really appreciate you sharing the new update info. Heck yeah, heck yeah. Gotta share with you guys. We love Enshrouded. Yeah, makes you happy. Yeah, exactly. I don't think you gotta worry about starting again. Doing a new playthrough for the sake of experience it from scratch, but be keeping the old ones too. Yeah, same. Be keeping that old building world and stuff, which is amazing. I'll be starting a new one just because, like, the nostalgia of it, for one, it's my favorite game. I wouldn't mind doing another playthrough from scratch. It's a lot of streams and a lot of content, but you guys want it. It'd be fun. I think it'd be fun to adventure and see the game from another perspective with everything that's been changed and all of that. I think that'd be super fun. Discovered Enshrouded after playing Once Human for more than 1,000 hours, and gotta admit they nailed it. 1,000 times better, and 1.0 is going to be even better. Yeah, it's incredible. Absolutely incredible. Yeah, put too much time into the mall for them to undo it. I know, right? Yeah. I would absolutely hate for people with huge builds and Forever World project. And the fact that they already had the adventure sharing, like, there's no way they're just going to take all that down because the worlds no longer work. Yeah, so I'd even move that to like 100% sure. I would be really, really shocked if you had to start a new world when it came to 1.0. Yeah. And yeah, Poison really excited to play. Heck yeah. Poison in YouTube chat is most likely going to be joining me for a 1.0 playthrough. We'll do a co-op stream and go through that. Poison has never, she's been in Enshrouded just to help me decorate with some stuff in the Forest Village, actually. She's been in Windrose mainly. Poison did a lot of Windrose, and we toured her build on the channel and stuff. But she's going to be coming in with a totally new perspective with 1.0, not really having played the game, and that'll be fun as well. So you get the veteran and the newcomer, and we'll do a co-op stream of Enshrouded together. You've never had to before, which is pretty great. Yeah, on the devs part, exactly. Enshrouded is honestly one of my favorite games for that reason. Part of the reason I put so much into it and so much time into the builds. Unlike Valheim, games like Valheim, as soon as you explore a part, that part is like written to the map and it can't be changed. The way they've done Enshrouded, the world files are only like kilobytes in size. They're tiny, which is so amazing for sharing them, for one, versus Valheim, which can rack up to a few gigabytes as you get a really long playthrough in. But Valheim, every time they did a new update, I always wanted to start a new playthrough because of the fact that the world outside of where I explore is like, to get the updated content, you had to go to some place you haven't been, and if you've done the adventure, you've been to most places in the world. So it's like every Valheim update, I had to start a new playthrough in a new world. So I kind of just got tired of doing that. Like, I stopped building in Valheim, I stopped doing a lot of Valheim. I think it's such a great game, but I can't wait to dive into it with 1.0, just knowing that it's finished. It's like a finished world, and I don't have to worry about starting that world over and over. And Enshrouded just made the playability right from the scratch, like, so good in that way, to allow you to keep your same world for the whole of the game's development, and keep your bases and get all of the new content from the game in your same world. I think that's just brilliant. Their model is brilliant. I love how they capitalized on that. I know some people are a little bit pissed that you're limited to only 10 altars or whatever to build. We might be getting like 12 or something with the new 1.0 expansion, or bigger altars. But yeah, I know some people are disappointed and like, oh, you can't just build as much or anywhere you want, kind of a thing, like you can in Valheim. But at the same time, that also allows them to keep performance friendly, for one, and for two, they did a great job making the entire world outside of them regenerate entirely. Yeah, only 10. I know, it's still tons. Still tons. And yeah, the save file editor lets you put down 80 exactly. You can tamper with it if your PC is a absolute power horse. Definitely. Yep. Be so much fun. I may have to alter my schedule if you guys are running in streams. Yeah, we'll mostly be live at this time. This is my main stream time. Mondays we do an earlier stream time for the European audience. So yeah, I've been getting a very solid schedule in more recently, and then I'll be announcing that on YouTube and stuff as well. That's where I've sucked. I just kind of always stream when I feel like it. But we've been going live every Tuesday and Thursday at the 6 p.m. Mountain Daylight Time. That's like a little over an hour ago from now. And then Saturday as well at that time, if I do more. And then Monday at an earlier time for the European audience. And then when Valheim 1.0 and Enshrouded 1.0 drop, we will likely be live almost every day for at least the first week or two of those launches, because there's going to be a lot to do. Definitely a ton. Keen Games are great developers, though, especially like how they show the dev tools in their teaser videos. Yeah, definitely. I think that's really cool. Really cool to sort of connect the... they did a good job explaining it, yeah, to connect the audience with their game a bit. Start area has been updated to include water. Really impressed. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Other parts of that map has been updated so much. Lore pages. There's some new lore pages in different places. I think a new playthrough is honestly, like, since I started and kept that same playthrough since the day one of Enshrouded coming out, I think a new playthrough will be very fun. No sleep marathon stream for the entire gameplay. Oh gosh, Poison. We'd be up for like 300 hours straight. Probably more, because by the time you're like, because I want to go through all of this. You probably do too, knowing you, which is why I was like, yeah, you'd probably be a good fit for a co-op playthrough. And if you speed run the game, yeah, you could do the whole thing in like 40 to 60 hours maybe. If you're just trying to get through like all the armor sets and all the bosses and all the, the content, the NPCs and things like that, I guess. But like if you want to explore every nook and cranny and get all the lore pages and all the stuff and unlock every single block there is in the game and like all of that, hundreds of hours of content, I would easily say. And then building on top of that, like we're going to do like a starter house. That's probably going to take like, that'll be a whole stream in and of itself, probably more. It'll be fun though. It'll be really fun. We'll love to see some kind of new teleport object that won't let you build, but still lets you fast travel. Yes. That's something that you're not the first person to mention that, and I don't know what they'll be doing with that. I like that they made the return beacons like able to be used when you log out and log back in again. That makes Hollow Halls and stuff so much easier. But yeah, that could be nice because that could keep the performance down, but that way you could maximize all 10 of your altars, or more if they add more to building, and then if you still wanted like a few little teleport things. Honestly though, it's not too bad because of the fact that Enshrouded has all the mechanics, the glider, the grappling hook, super fast movement, all the ancient spires that you unlock, which is automatically a fast travel in basically every single region of the world. They do make it pretty good, all things considered, when it comes to that. But then, yeah, I think about Pal World, where you have like, the little beacons, the little fast travels, really close together and tons of them. And that game's still fun. I don't think it's too much, so it would work probably to have some teleport things to go alongside the altars. Yeah, it'll be good though. Enshrouded's massive. Yeah, it's crazy. Been playing without the use of resource worlds almost completely, and it's been a task. Yeah. Especially endgame resource worlds can make it a lot more fun, a little less grindy to build. Yeah. Got through the endgame without resource worlds, but once I went there, you're spoiled. Yeah, that's like me. I don't use the resource world until I am done with the playthrough, and then I go into the resource world. That way I don't like prematurely unlock stuff, until I've like already unlocked it all in game, kind of a thing. Yeah, Jaheim, 3D like DDDdesigns.com. Sorry, you can't put the links in the chat, but yeah, DDDdesigns.com is the resource world that we're all referring to. Alright, you guys, a little bit of a shorter stream today, but I really wanted to go over this because of the fact that this is just some huge news. If you did not stay tuned for the beginning of the stream portion, I front-loaded the stream with a ton of really important info about new things from the article and everything that we went over. I may or may not turn that into a little summarized video as well, depending on that. But that way, if you didn't, if you're just tuning in now, feel free to rewind that stream. It'll be on YouTube. And I suppose I'll wrap it here. And I'll keep you guys posted. We might do another stream pretty soon showing you some of the new materials and other things related to 1.0. You know, depending on the info I get from them, we can expect more videos, like I said, throughout the next month or so, just showcasing some more about the update. They did say that in their newsletter. So with that said, stay tuned next week early for another Pal World stream. We'll be continuing to do some Pal World, since that seems to be a very fun filler game between now and Valheim 1.0, and of course Enshrouded 1.0 after. And I'll keep you guys posted for more. Be sure to subscribe and like the stream. We're trying to get to 40k subs by the end of the year. That would be amazing. So really appreciate the support from y'all. And have a great rest of your day or evening. Alrighty, I'll see y'all next time. Cheers.